Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and this is Expedition 3 Pages. Today I thought I'd start another vlog for Tales from Two Trails. I haven't done one for a really long time. I have filmed the start of some and then for some reason or another it just hasn't worked out. So I'm determined to put this one up. It will happen. Today is the 2nd of May and I've already started my first book on the list, and that's Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. This I'm reading for the prompt first book in a series, which it is. I can't remember what this series is called, but this is the first book of a trilogy, and in it you're following someone called Lilith who wakes up in this room, doesn't know where on earth she is, what is going on. She doesn't know how long she's been there. She keeps like drifting in and out of like sleep. She has the feeling that when she like goes to sleep, sometimes she sleeps normally and it feels like a normal amount of like regular sleep, and other times just feels like she's been in a really long deep sleep. So she has absolutely no idea how long she's been there. She's got this weird scar on her, so she feels like whoever's got her captured has done something to her and she doesn't know what. The people that have her talk to her but don't answer her questions, and it's all very frustrating. And then very quickly you kind of learn a bit more about what's going on, and Lilith starts to learn more about what's going on in where she is and outside of where she is and everything like that. And yeah, it's all very strange and scary for her. It's science fiction. It's very science fiction. It's actually one of the most science fiction-y books I've read, I think, in a long time. This is pretty slow paced, so we're very, very slowly moving through and learning things as Lilith's learning them, and it just feels very calm, which, considering the situation that she's in, you could imagine this written in a much more kind of action-packed way, but it's just not. Personally, I could do with it being a little bit more fast-paced than it is, but I am intrigued and I do want to know what happens and where it's going. It's very interesting. I feel like Octavia E. Butler has really done a lot of thinking about the scenario she's created and the situation that Lilith's in, and it's quite intricate, and I feel like it's very creative and very well kind of thought through and fairly like scientific as well. So it's interesting. I am enjoying the explanations of how things work and why they work, and yeah, I'm really, really enjoying that part of it. I'm currently on page 80 and the plan is to carry on reading this until I finished it. Of course, it's a book. Why would I plan on anything else? And then after I pick up Dawn, I do want to then kind of skip over back to a book that isn't on my TBR for Tales from Two Trails. And I want to carry on reading Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, which I'm actually reading for the Magical Readathon, which was supposed to have completed in April. However, I have not finished my reads. And considering I only had 3 books to read, that's pretty poor. With Station 11 at the moment, I'm on chapter 43, page 242. So I have about 90 pages left of this one, I think. And yeah, I'm really loving this, but I will talk more about it when I get to it. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. It's so good. And I was scared of this one, so this was for my read an intimidating book for Magical Readathon. Now I've started, the intimidation factor has gone, but I reckon it still counts for the prompt because I was intimidated by it to start with. Then the other book that I'm focusing on this week, and I'm trying to read 40 pages a day because it's a library book and I need to get it back to the library, and that's Love, Marriage by Monica Ali. And this is a contemporary book that follows 2 young doctors who are about to get married. You follow Yasmin, who is from an Indian family, and Yasmin is marrying Joe, who is from a single parent family. The book starts as this big dinner is about to happen where the parents are meeting for the first time. I've only read 40 pages of this, but I am definitely pleasantly surprised by it. It has made me laugh a few times and I'm enjoying the characters. I'm liking it. It has just taken a bit of a weird turn, like they're at dinner and Joe's mum has just said something that I'm like, is this taking a really weird turn? Like, what is she doing? So yeah, I'm intrigued about where it's going. But yeah, at the moment they're just having this dinner and they're trying to plan the wedding. And Yasmin is a bit like, do not take over, Mr. Joe's mum. So yes, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to finish another 40 pages today and every day until it's done. But yeah, I'm never good at sticking to those plans, so we'll see how it goes. The last book that I'm trying to focus on this week as well, I think maybe 4 books is overkill, but this one is an audiobook, so I'm only going to be listening to it when I'm doing the washing up or doing the washing, all that kind of stuff. And that is Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens, which I've been reading with my mum, buddy reading with my mum for the best part of a year, and we're finally about 5 hours 45 minutes from the end of the audiobook. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this one though, to be perfectly honest. I feel kind of sad that it's not going to be in my life anymore in just over 5.5 hours. It's really weird to not have it just going on in the background the whole time and not having the characters to go back to. It's very much about the differences between the classes in London back in Charles Dickens' day. Little Dorrit is a young woman who was born in like a jail, but it was a debtor's jail. So I think my mum told me back in the day there was like a difference between a debtor's jail and a jail for criminals. And yeah, she was born in this jail because her dad was at jail, and so basically because he was at jail they all had to move in. The story is not only about Little Dorrit, you follow loads of other people, and it really focuses on different parts of society and how they interact with one another, how the government is and how nightmarish the government is. It focuses a lot on the different types of people that you get in society, and I have to say Charles Dickens just creates some amazing characters. And the audiobook that I'm listening to, actually let me just find you the audiobook narrator's name, because he is awesome. Like, he's fantastic. The voices are just so good, and like the emotion and the comedy, I just find he's just like spot on with so much of it. So I did start off with this book reading and listening to it because I had a hard time with the language, but as it went on I got used to the way it was written, I got used to the way the narrator was narrating it, and now I just listen to it because I think it's really good. Okay, so it's narrated by Anton Lesser, and yeah, absolutely fantastic narrator. I'll be looking up to see if he's narrated anything else after this. So my plans for the week are to have finished both Dawn and Station 11, possibly even Little Dorrit because I haven't got long left on that, and have gotten to page 280 in Love Marriage. So we'll see how it goes. I'll check in with you a bit later. Hey guys, it's now the 11th of May, so we're quite into the month now, but I do have some reading updates. I finished Little Dorrit. Little Dorrit has been read. I've been reading this since I think August last year, so it's been a long time, but it's finished and I'm so excited. For any of you who don't know, I was reading it with my mum, buddy reading it with my mum, hence why it took so long, because we were both taking a long time. The book is over 1,000 pages, so there is that. It's a long book to buddy read. But we read it for a Gilmore Girls challenge that we started last August. So that means that we can now continue it, which I'm really, really excited about. We can actually film episode 2 of that. For that challenge, as you can imagine, we try and do the Gilmore Girls reading challenge, but we kind of do it a bit differently because there's like 400 books on that challenge or something, so we can't read 400 books, especially if we take a year reading each one. So what we do instead is that we go through a few of the episodes at the time, write a list of the books that are mentioned or feature in those episodes based on lists that I found on the internet and stuff like that. And yeah, then we discuss them and we decide which one of them we're going to read from those few episodes. We're also trying to watch it as we go along. However, it has taken us a really long time to read this book, so we've only been able to watch up to like episode 7 of the first series or something ridiculous. But yeah, hopefully we can video that as soon as possible and yeah, release the next episode. I'm so excited about that. I'm also really sorry it took so long to read it. I won't talk about Little Dorrit here because we'll chat about it together in that video. Other than that, Dawn, I'm so close to the end. I'm on page 253 and there's only like 280 pages left, so I think I've only got a few chapters left. And yeah, this one is interesting because it's kind of written in a way that feels very removed from the story. So you're not really like entangled in the emotions of the characters or anything like that. It feels not really emotional, but it's still really intriguing what's going on, and you do care about the main character. She's definitely been through a lot and a lot is going on, but it's very alien-y. You're learning about the place and situation that Lilith has ended up in, and yeah, just trying to work out what's going on alongside Lilith. and what these kind of aliens want with her, and it's very interesting. There's a lot to discuss, I would say, so I feel like this would actually be quite a good book club book, because there's a few things that I want to talk about that I can't talk about because it's kind of spoilery, I guess. The other book that I've been reading is Love, Marriage by Monica Ali. I'm afraid to say I'm not enjoying this book particularly. Oh, I'm quite far into it now though. I didn't realise I was that far. Quite far. I'm on page 305 out of like just less than 500 pages. And yeah, I might wait till the end until I talk about this book, but I am struggling with it, to be honest. I don't really like any of the characters. I think they're mean and I'm not enjoying reading about them, but I'll see how it goes, because I don't know if the author's gonna kind of pull something out at the end which makes it worthwhile, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's a real shame, but I'll talk about it more at the end and kind of wrap up my feelings a bit more when I've got my head around what I actually want to say. So yeah, that's the end of the update. My first book finished on the 11th of May is a bit rubbish, but at least it was a little Dorrit, and I'm very, very happy that it's done. And I will probably finish Dawn later on today as well, which is exciting. And yeah, after this, I'm going to pick Station 11 back up and finish this. That's going to be my plan for the rest of the week. So I'll check in with you later. Yeah, but don't be a spoiler by saying that.
I'm going to say whatever I like.
No, you can't say what you get to.
Oh, that's got to go. I can't cope with that.
No, we're not smart enough for that bit. Let's
We're
put
not.
it that way.
I don't think anybody is.
Hey guys, it's now the 17th of May, so even later in the month. And yeah, I was planning on doing this 2 weeks, so I guess that is about 2 weeks. I just didn't film very much, so. But yes, I do have updates. I can't remember if I updated you about Dawn or not, so I'll do a little update and then delete it if you have already seen it. But yes, I finished Dawn and I really enjoyed it in the end. It was really good. I am so intrigued and I really, really want to start book 2 like immediately, but I don't have it. I think I can get it from the library though, which is good. This is really slow paced. I definitely have said that in this vlog before, but it's really thought provoking, and Lilith, who you're following, is put in these very awkward situations and really quite harrowing situations sometimes, but it's kind of written in like, I don't know, it's kind of written quite lightly, even though the main character isn't feeling lightly about it. Definitely the situations that Lilith was put in was really frightening, and if you tried to think about what you would do in that same situation, then it just became really, really difficult. Difficult to talk about without spoilers, but there are definitely things in here that I would like to speak about if anyone has read this book. There are moments in here where Lilith's captors do things that are questionable, well, very questionable, and have a lot of kind of implications, and you know, you could discuss all the moral implications of it and actually what is happening and why they're doing it and what's going on. One of the things I found interesting was that Lilith's character was much more accepting of the things her captors were doing when compared to the other people like Lilith. So the other people in her situation, she was much less tolerant of their behaviour than she kind of was of her captors. And yeah, I can't really go into it without spoilers, but it was definitely thought-provoking and I really am excited to start book 2. It's interesting to read this book as well, especially in today's society where there's so much of misinformation around and so much confusion about who's telling the truth and what you're seeing on the news. Can you believe it? And very different situation but similar themes. So definitely a look at humans and human nature and how difficult it is sometimes just to lay trust in something without seeing proof yourself, and what is proof yourself, and even if you have seen some kind of proof, like how much can you actually believe in it and all that kind of stuff. And there were moments in here where I felt sure that what Lilith was being told was true, and then there were other moments where I felt, hang on, maybe I'm wrong. And yeah, I just found that part of it really interesting to read, like, wait, is this true? Wait, is this not true? What's going on? But yeah, there are parts of it that you couldn't deny, but there were other parts where it was in question. And yeah, it's just a really interesting book, I think, to read. Definitely disturbing in parts, and there will be trigger warnings for this book as well. I do always link down to the Storygraph page for each book that I talk about, because on Storygraph they have a whole list of like trigger warnings and everything like that. So if you're interested in seeing what they are before you pick any of these books up, then that's a good way to do it. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys thought, if any of you have read it, because yeah, it was interesting. And I want to start book 2. I need to wait. Don't have time to read it now. The other thing I finished was this mammoth, Monica Ali's Love Marriage, which I read for the book club that I do with my friends and family. We had our book club on Sunday, and I need to get this back to the library today, so I needed to jump on and wrap it up for you guys. Sadly, this book just took a complete dive for me, and I didn't like it in the end. It started off so strong. I actually had forgotten that I liked it in the beginning, and when I was editing, I did a bit of editing last night of the first part of this video, and I was like, hang on, I'm being positive about this book. What is this? That's not how I feel now, sadly. For me, this story was... I don't know how to describe it, but I guess it was written quite linearly. So I felt like everything was set up and then resolved in a way where you knew it was going to happen. So there were parts of this story that were kind of hidden from you, and parts of the story that you were waiting to find out what happened. And you were like, had the build up of things, and you were just waiting for the, not necessarily a reveal, but like for the actual event that you're waiting for to happen. But then I felt like there was no surprises. So Monica Ali was very heavy on the hints of what was to come. And so I found that boring. Like, I have to say, I did find it boring. Even though the themes in here were interesting to me and in some cases eye-opening. Some members of the family are Muslim. And so there were definitely bits of information in here that I didn't know about the Muslim faith, and like learning about that I found really interesting. But the actual storytelling itself, like, I did not like Yasmin. I thought she was mean. I think she was meant to be, like, not nice, or if not nice, then naive or something. But it just didn't make for, like, a good, enjoyable read for myself. And although there were characters in here that I did like, there were certain ways that certain things were talked about that didn't sit right with me. I don't know, it's interesting because Adam Kay has blurbed the back and said that it's the most human portrayal of doctors that he's ever read. So, you know, he knows more about doctors than I do, but I didn't particularly like reading the medical setting, but I do have health anxiety, so I will caveat it with that. When it got to descriptions of health stuff, I was like skimming a little bit, and I never skim books, but I don't want to read, I don't want to know the symptoms of all these illnesses because I'm going to think I have everything. So that's my own personal thing that I didn't like about the book. I also caveat it with the fact that I don't really love contemporaries. I'm not really that interested in reading contemporary stories. I like stories to have a bit of a twist and to have, I don't know, like Dawn, like, you know, exploring human nature in the future in a different setting to our own personal world. I don't know why that is. I do find it weird because I do like watching contemporary programs. So I don't know if it's just I haven't found a really good contemporary. I think the most successful contemporary for me so far has been Queenie, and I did really like that book, but I didn't love that book. So yeah, if anyone has any like contemporary recommendations that I could maybe try, because I don't know if it's just me and it's just not my thing, or if it's that I just haven't read the right contemporary yet. But yeah, so sadly, this book wasn't for me. So after I finished Dawn and Love Marriage, then I wanted to go back to Station 11 and Wires and Nerve, because these are my books I was reading for the Magical Readathon, so I wanted to get them done. And I have been reading them, but I did slow my reading down a little bit because I had to read this pretty quick. So I was reading quite a lot all in one go to get ready for the book club. But I have gone back to this now, and I love it so much. I think it's such a good book. I'm just, every time I pick it up, I'm like immediately engrossed, and I feel like the writing style in this is just something that I absolutely love. I feel like Emily St. John Mandel can give you an emotion in the space of about 4 sentences. Like, you don't even know the character's name, and in 4 sentences you feel pain for that character, or you feel joy for that character, or, you know, I just feel like this is just very concise. Yeah, so I'm currently on chapter 50, so I'm so near the end. I'm on page 295. I will say that in my excitement about this book, I have started watching the series with my partner, because I just wanted him to experience it as well. So even though I hadn't finished, I was too impatient, and I got the series for us. I'm so disappointed with the series. I mean, I never learned my lesson, because I think what should happen when I enjoy a book is that I put the book down, step away for maybe a month, and then try and watch the series, especially if I love the book. Because it's happened so many times now where I've started watching it and I've been disappointed. And I don't know if it's just I'm too involved in the book. So yeah, I made the mistake of overlapping the two. Because I don't know if anyone else has read the book and watched the series, but if you have, please tell me what you think, because I am irritated that so many storylines have kind of twisted and changed. I feel like in some cases the characters' personalities have changed. Maybe just one character in particular that I'm thinking of. I'm only on episode 3 because obviously I don't want to finish the series before I finish the book, because that would be silly. It's difficult because you never know how true to the book it's going to be. Like, on the flip side of that, my mum and I just finished reading Little Dorrit, didn't we? So we have started watching the series Little Dorrit, which was made in 2009, I think, for the BBC. And that is so true to the book, and it's so good. Like, so far, it's been really, really fantastic. We've only watched 2 episodes so far. And the only difference that has annoyed me a tiny, tiny bit is that my favourite character is a character called Mr. Panks. And in the book, he's got hair, and he's always, like, tugging his hair. And that's just one of his character traits in the book. But in the programme, he's bald. And at first I was like, whoa, that's not Mr. Panks. Where's his hair? You can't pull his hair. He's got no hair. But yeah, like, that's a very minor thing, and I've already got over it. And I've moved on to the new Mr. Panks, whatever. But yeah, like, those changes I can kind of cope with. But complete narrative changes and personality changes, it's a lot more difficult. Anyway, I'm enjoying this, but I think this is going to be my last clip for the vlog, so I will wrap this up in my next vlog that I do. And then Wise and Nerve, I've been reading at, like, bedtime when I'm getting into bed. So I'm on page 171 of this, so I'm very close to the end of this one as well. And yeah, this one is funny. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back with the characters in the Lunar Chronicles and finding out what's going on. There was a scene that cracked me up a lot, and just like the idea of what was happening was very funny. Again, I can't really... Yeah, it's boring for you because I can't say what it is. So yeah, I wrap this up in my next vlog as well. I was going to go on and tell you what I'm planning on reading next, but I should do that in the next vlog, so I'll wait on that. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. My mum came round yesterday, so we finally filmed the Gilmore Girls Reading Challenge episode 2. Although I think I'm going to change it and call it episodes 3 to 7, because those are the episodes we watched from season 1. And those are the episodes that we're picking a book from. Not gonna lie, it was kind of chaotic. It was starting off so well, we had a plan, and then it all went a bit wrong. But yeah, that should be coming out next week, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.